Right. So the Christians, in a sense, are not getting it wrong as though they're trying and just not achieving the goal. They're making it all up. That means there was never an attempt to get it right, but rather it was a complete scam of the church where they had to then go back with bleach to the crime scene, wipe away the fingerprints, get rid of the DNA evidence, but they did just a very poor job.
And welcome back to the Gnostic Informant, and you are about to attain true gnosis. And I'm with the one and only, the Rabbi Tovia Singer, who is a superstar when it comes to my Patreon members and people who watch this channel. They love when the Rabbi comes by and gives us some knowledge. And today we're going to jump into a topic that can't be spoken about enough. There's always something to say. There's always more to say about this because there's just so much of this going on. And that is the Christians who come along, people like Paul, people like Peter, people like whoever, the church fathers and Clement of Alexandria and whoever it is. It's this Greek type of Judaism that's going on. Now my question is for you, somebody who is a practicing rabbinic Jew, who is a rabbi, who lives this stuff, who lives and breathes the Torah, the Tanakh, who's the real deal. So I got to ask you, I can't be the authority on this. I got to go to you for this. What is it that the Christians are getting wrong about the scriptures, about the Tanakh? What is it that, because they claim to have the fulfillment of the Old Testament? Tell us about that, and what are they getting wrong, and what are they trying to pull off here?
Right. So the Christians, in a sense, are not getting it wrong as though they're trying and just not achieving the goal. They're making it all up. That means there was never an attempt to get it right, but rather it was a complete scam of the church where they had to then go back with bleach to the crime scene, wipe away the fingerprints, get rid of the DNA evidence, but they did just a very poor job. It's worse than your viewers think. Let me give you like a very simple example, a very famous example. Luke chapter 24, verse 44. Why is that passage so important? It appears right at the end of the third gospel. Because Jesus is speaking here following his putative resurrection. And he's saying that what he has done is a fulfillment of the Torah, of the prophets, the Nevi'im, and of the Psalms, which means really the Ketuvim, the writing. That's all of Tanakh. The word Tanakh is just an acronym for the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim. I'm right there. And then in verse 45, he says, just turn to the scripture. And in 46, he says that he suffered, died, rose on the third day, according to the scripture. There is no such verse. It's a complete phantom. So it's not like it was mistranslated, like famously Matthew mistranslate a whole series of passages in the Hebrew Bible. It just made up, completely made up. There is no passage like that. Paul also makes the same, advances the same idea. No doubt that whoever wrote this pericope of Luke took it from 1 Corinthians chapter 15, where Paul says that Jesus rose on the third day according to the scripture. There is no such scripture. It doesn't even exist. So this is not like people had a misunderstanding or this was a heterodox or heretical sect of Judaism. It wasn't any of that. The idea that you should eat the body and drink the blood of the Messiah by eating the bread and drink, that's not a misunderstanding. That's not a whoops. That's not, I must have gotten some verse wrong there. there's no even beginning. There's nothing remotely resembling that in the Hebrew Bible. Quite the contrary. It is human sacrifice is the motherlode of bad ideas as far as the Torah is concerned. The notion that you should eat now, and let not the Protestants go, well, we only see it as a figure. It doesn't make a difference if it's the way Calvinists view the Eucharist or the way the Roman Catholic Church. The idea, it's just a non-starter. There's nothing remotely resembling that. So it's not like Christianity is sort of a movement of Judaism, and they kind of didn't get it right. There was no even attempt to get it right. There is an attempt, as I said, for people to come back to the crime scene, like the guy who murdered those 4 students in Idaho, where he kept revisiting, but he didn't go to get his stuff, and they're able to trace him down. It's just them going back and trying to adjust things and go, this is a secular Judaism. It never was.
Wow. So what do you think they're trying to bring the Greek-speaking Jewish people of, let's say, Alexandria, for example, to try to bring them into the world of Roman paganism? Is that what you think's happening here?
No, it's Christianity converting to Rome rather than Rome converting to Christianity. What Christianity successfully did was accumulate all the ideas that were well known and widely accepted in the pagan world, and then just put it in some using Jewish terms like Messiah, misappropriating Jewish general concepts. It's certain that there were early Jewish sects. Their writings don't survive. Ebionites, Nazarenes, what we know about them from the church fathers, that there were sects that did think that you needed to keep the Torah, that utterly rejected Paul. We know that because Paul, essentially, in all of his writings, both those that are indisputably from his hand and those that are pseudepigrapha, Paul is arguing with fellow Christians about doctrine. So there was some group that thought that he was a great man, and they came to understand that he was the Messiah. But Christianity it's not a failed attempt. They never tried.
אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה